recording. Alright, girls, what's the first thing we're going to do? Solve for A in terms of B. Girls, what does that mean? Tell me what to write. Okay. And what do you know? 0.5 cubed. So we gotta get A by itself. Girls, how do you do that? Divide by B to the third power on both sides. This canceling here equals 1. So A is equal to 0.5 over B to the third power. Raise your hand if you got that. Good job. Alright, boys, what do we do next? Let's use the A value now. Y equals ABX, AB to the X power. Okay, boys? Yep. Yep. We have the A value. And now we're using what we just wrote from the previous problem. 0.5 over B to the third power. Keep going, boys. Ooh. Negative exponents. Class, how do you make that a fraction? Where is B to the negative 4 going? It's going down. Now I'm going to have 64 equals 0.5 B to the third. But when it comes downstairs, what do? You take off the tag, so that's B to the fourth. 64 equals 0.5. When you're multiplying the same base, what do you do with the exponents? You add them. 3 plus 4 is 7. If you don't understand that, when in doubt, write it out. When in doubt, write it out. There are 3 B's, and then there are 4 B's, and then you can just count up all your B's. Does that make sense? Okay, we're supposed to solve for B now. I see a proportions. How do you make this a fraction? Put over 1. To solve proportions, I can cross multiply. And this is 64 times B to the 7th. Remember, cross multiplying just saves you a step. Essentially what I'm doing is I'm multiplying both sides by B to the 7th power and then dividing the other side by 64. Class, how do we get B by itself? Should I divide or take the radical? Let's divide it. So I have B to the 7th over equals 0.5 over 64. What's the opposite of exponents? Radicals. Now, when you get, or a square root. In this case, I'm taking it to the radical to the 7th, which basically means that you are trying to find 7 identical numbers that multiply to be 0.5 over 64. But thank goodness you have your calculator that can do that for you. Take it out. So, you're not going to use this square root button because the default square root button and then the little number that's called the index, that's a 2. And you'll know that because these are opposites. Do you guys see it? So for this one, I'm going to have to go under math. Everyone say math. And I was calling up student work, the other day, and a student actually wrote calculator commands on their notes. Like, I saw it. That's a good thing to do. And then I'm going to go down to, so I click math, and then I'm going to go down to number 5. And now it's asking you for the index. Our index is 7. And then to get out of that, you just press right. And then old school, you can do parentheses 0.5 divided by 64, or you can do alpha y equals. This gives me the first one, numerator divided by denominator, is just a fraction. 0.5 over 64. To get out of that, you just press right. Press enter. And our number is 0.5. 0.5. Okay, almost done. I got a B value, I don't have an A value. How can I get that A value? We're really solving for A, right? I'm just putting in 0.5 up here. Does that make sense? A equals 0.5 over 0.5 to the third power. Now, I'm just going to put that in my calculator. If you're doing that by hand, that's essentially, you should also recognize that's to the first power. And then you're actually canceling one of these and one of these, so really you have 0.5 to the second power. You have one of these, 3 down here, you're canceling 1 on each side. Or you can think of that as also 1/2 squared. Put in your calculator. Alpha y equals, numerator denominator, 1 divided by 0.5 to the second power. And you get A equals 4. And then we're just going to write an equation. Y equals AB to the x power. My A value is 4. My B value? 0.5. And if you ever lost the privilege of using your calculator, you can do this all by hand. There's no decimals, just use fractions. So there we did find the exponential function. We wrote one based on our 2 order pairs. So order pairs are not close to each other. And then solve for A in terms of B, use system equations. Solve for A, use your A value to find your B, put your B in to solve for your A, and then write your equation.